Office 365 experience. They want it and we have it. Now let's get some more. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Kobo Man. We're continuing our Office, or what is known now as Microsoft 365 series, so you can get jobs that require experience using Office 365. Not just using, but also administrating Office 365. Very important. So far, we've done 2 videos. This is a 3rd video in series. In the first video, we've covered active users. We've added a bunch of users, learned how to deal with those. In the second video, we talked about groups, shared emails, and creating shared boxes and administering all of that stuff. Everything in detail. If you want to check it out, I will add a playlist pop-up that will come up somewhere on the right top hand corner here. Please watch all of those so that way you're not lost when it comes to this one. If you've watched my videos, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. And now it's time to keep learning more. So today it's going to be about SharePoint, but I will quickly show you how to restore deleted files on behalf of the user. It's very important because it ties in with the SharePoint, and we're going to concentrate on SharePoint more, but this is one of those things that will come up for all the users that have Office 365. So this is one of those common things, and I definitely want to teach you common things that will be useful at the job, right? So this is one of those things. A user calls in this case we have Sally Mo, and this is just her outbox, and I will show her how she looks like in the system as well. And let's just say Sally Mo calls in and she says, I've deleted my Excel document. And here it is. It's just called book. So we're going to delete it here. But you know what? Let's do one better. We're just going to go to her OneDrive and kind of give you a better visual of what's going on. So here is Sally's, all of her files, right? This is all of her documents that she has saved. So in this presentation, we're going to delete just this one here, that it's called Book XLS. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and rename it. We're going to name it File We Are Going to Delete. Okay, we're going to rename it that. So now that we have this file created to keep track of us, we're going to delete it intentionally. We're going to select it. We're going to delete it. So let's say Sally accidentally deletes this, right? And it's deleted. And then first thing you can ask her, hey, have you checked the recycle bin? If she says, I don't know what that is, you know, even though it's right here, and it's okay, it happens sometimes, then we can restore it for her on her behalf. So if she goes into recycle bin, let's do F5 here, and it refreshes it, right? You can see that it's there. But then in her situation, maybe it could have been a thing where she just had to refresh it and then she didn't see it. It doesn't matter. We are here to help the customer. We're going to help Sally recover this. So we see that it's a recycle bin, but if you can't help her navigate to this point, then that's fine. She could have also clicked empty recycle bin, which will empty her recycle bin, and then you cannot restore it for her. However, in that case, I will show you what to do. You can still recover it even if she empties her recycle bin. But let's just do this. She deleted it on accident, and then now it's in recycle bin, but she doesn't know how to do it. That's okay. I'm going to say, Sally, it's okay. We're going to do it for you. And here's Sally here in our active users. If you don't know how to get to this, you go to Microsoft 365 Admin Center, select users, let this expand, select active users, and all I did here was type in Sally Mo, or you can just simply pick her from here, or you can just search for her. It doesn't matter. We're going to select Sally here, and then in order to recover anything that's in her OneDrive, all of our documents are going to be in OneDrive, stored in OneDrive, unless it's shared documents that we're going to talk about as part of this video on SharePoint. All of her personal documents are going to be in OneDrive for her personally. And then to recover it for her, or to basically see the recycle bin on her behalf, right? We're going to do it for her. We're going to click on OneDrive here, and where it says get access to files, we're going to create a link that will take us to her OneDrive that we have access to on her behalf. So, and if we click create link to files, it's going to create a website link, and it says here create a link to view and edit Sally Mo's OneDrive files, right? Self-explanatory. So we're going to click create a link. So this may take a little bit to process, and sometimes not, but in this case, we're just going to just click on it, or you can copy paste this link somewhere else. But you notice this is just a, HTTPS. I mean, it's a secure link to the SharePoint OneDrive that's web-based, right? Cloud-based, web-based, whatever you want to call it. So to see it, what's going on in her OneDrive, we're going to click on this link or copy paste it. And here is exactly what she sees, right? Right? This is exactly where she is. She has that one document, that got one presentation, and we see that as well. Now, normally we would have a link to a recycle bin here where we would click it, but in some situations, and this is important to know, that recycle bin may not show up like this, but it's supposed to show up here, that there's another way to go about this. And for this, here's the segue, guys. We have to go to the SharePoint Admin Center. Okay, here's our home for SharePoint, and this is where we're going to access all of her stuff, right? So in order to get to it, we have to click on, let me just re-minimize this. We're going to click on more features here, right? This is going to be there. It's not going to be in these menus for some reason, but it's definitely going to be under more features. And if we look to the right, it says here user profiles. So we're going to click on open. And what this is going to show us is something very similar that you see in regular Active Directory for our Windows server. Very, very similar looking. And for those reasons, we're going to just use common sense here, right? So if you're in here and then you are going to make changes for the user, well, what is it that you need to do? If you look, the first thing it says manage user properties. Nah, that's not really it. Those are like permissions and stuff. Manage user profiles. So what are these things that people are logging into, right? Think about this. And I want to teach you in this way. This is person's profiles, and especially considering that it's all web-based or cloud-based. So everybody that's part of this Microsoft 365 has a profile, right? And these are their profiles, and we're going to manage it just like we tried to manage it through here, but it failed, and that's okay. We're just going to do it here, but more in a technical way where we have way more access to it. So we're going to do the same thing here that we did with the GUI, but I mean, although this is a GUI too, we're going to do the same thing here, just different ways. We're going to click Manage User Profiles, right? We're going to manage Sally's profile. Okay, and then we're going to search for Sally here, Sally Mo. I typed in Salmo. Let's see if anything comes up. Sure enough, you can make a mistake, and that's okay. And here's our Sally. So we're going to click on her, and we're going to expand here. We're going to click on the little drop-down arrow for Sally. You see here, that's her ID and all of that, preferred. And we're going to do a little drop-down arrow, and then we're going to manage. Again, we're going to manage personal site here. And I know there's a lot of steps here, but just keep thinking manage, manage, manage. Because you have full management control, if you will, of Office or Microsoft 365 Center. So we're going to keep managing and managing. And here's our specific settings to her OneDrive. It says here OneDrive, and because OneDrive stores everything here that's in for Sally, right? And although we clicked manage personal site, her personal site, if she has one, is going to be all stored on OneDrive. Everything is in OneDrive. Okay, and now we can see the only indicator here that we have is that it's Sally's, where it says here about Sally Mo. We know it's for her for sure. No other things indicate that this is for Sally, but we know it is. So we're going to look for recycle bin, and then here it is, site collection administration, and under that there is recycle bin. Okay, now we have access to her recycle bin. We're going to click on it. And here's our file, guys. We can simply select it now, and then we can click restore, and then we can immediately go back to her my files in OneDrive, and without even refreshing, it came back up. Okay, here it is. We've restored it for her just like that. Very easy to follow, right? So let's see if there's anything now in recycle bin. There it is. Still a copy of it that didn't refresh. And that's when we hit F5 and it kind of restored it back up. And that's fine. Now let's go ahead and delete it again. But we're going to delete it even further. We're going to permanently delete it, quote unquote, permanently delete it from her recycle bin. But that's not what's going on. So we're going to delete it again. Yes. And then let's say she goes in recycle bin. And let me just do F5 here again. Come on. Come on. Come on. We just did it. Come on. It's so funny because it was instant over there. But in some cases, it's not wanting to be instant. That's fine. Let me see if I go back here. I know I deleted it, guys. Come on. Delete. Oh, this is what was going on. I messed up. It was already open somewhere else. That's fine. Okay, now it's deleted. That's my fault. I fully accept the fault for that. All right, F5. Now there it is. So let's see she clicks empty recycle bin because she wants to make space on her OneDrive, right? You have to empty recycle bin to make that space. So she does this. And then now what? Now it's gone. And then she calls again. And then you're like, okay, no problem. I'm going to look at your, I'm going to look at your recycle bin. So we go back here. Here we are again about Sally Moe. We're administering her site, as in, her OneDrive. We're going to click on recycle bin. And there's not going to be anything in there. Because she permanently deleted it, quote unquote. It's not permanently deleted, but she emptied her recycle bin. It's not there. Luckily, we can still help her recover this because there's always going to be a copy of it. And that is in second stage recycle bin, which is under her drive. So we're going to have to navigate her through this, unfortunately, or take control of her computer and just do it for her, with some kind of remote desktop software. And so, self-explanatory kind of. It's going to be second stage inception recycle bin. And here it is. Now, if we empty this one, then it will be permanent. You can see it says, this will be, permanent. Well, it will tell me, but that's okay. We're not going to do that because I don't feel like creating this again to prove the point. So we're going to restore it. So when we click the restore, now it's no longer in second stage recycle bin or nor in the regular recycle bin. So if we go back to our files, we've restored it, and there it is. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like it. Okie dokie. So, now we're going to go and talk about SharePoint. Now let's look at the SharePoint from a user's point of view. SharePoint, as in SharePoint for the user, is going to be different for you as an admin, unless your group has a specific one. Here is finance group. Now, if you remember, we went and in the previous video, and again, this is another reason why you should be, checking out the other videos. Let me just get organized here real quick. We're going to go to our Exchange. Now everything ties in. This is why I keep saying you need to watch all the videos, and especially the one video before this one. We created a group, they call Microsoft 365 group for finance group. And finance group, people that are part of that group includes Sally and some other people that work for her. So if we click on finance group in our admin Exchange, we can see all the members that are in there. So if I click view and all manage, that Sally is in there, she's the owner. But if we click view and manage members, we can see that Sally is also a member there. So she can participate in what they call a SharePoint. In this case, it's this website. It creates a website specifically for finance. It's called Finance Group. And then we got Finance Group here, right? It's the same thing. It creates this for them, which allows them to not only have a shared email, but they also have shared website in which they can collaborate. So think of it as just a website for them, their own web page. Think of like a Discord group, more so like that, or I don't know what other social platform, maybe like a, I don't know, Facebook members page or something like that. But you'd have to be a member to participate, create things, add things, and be part of the conversation, share net documents and everything else that you're collaborating with. And as you can see here, there is finance group mailbox that's created there. She can also get to it, and any of these members that are in here. So let's really quick go through all the things that are inside of their SharePoint. So they can create different things based off what their preferences are, what their job is, and this and that. And you can see there are some things in here that they can just kind of show up, and these are things that they can create individually. So if they click right immediately on new here, they can create a new list, document library, page, news post, news link, plan, or app. So these are all things that users can do, which is fine. This is something you should definitely learn because it's good to know to help you troubleshoot things. And then all these people that work in this environment can see these things that are created. So if we, so for example, click page, it's like creating a website blog page or a post, right? Let's say you're writing some kind of article that's related to what is going on with your environment or your business and work environment. So this is one of those things you can certainly do. Now, coming down from the left, if you click on conversations, you can see what's going on in your shared mailbox. Here's a finance mailbox that I talked about. This is people that are part of this can view anything that's inside of it, reply, message each other, or just use it for business purposes for their customers. If we click, let me go back here. If we click on the next thing down, which is documents, you can see that we can upload and add documents, and there is a general folder. So imagine uploading this to actual web page, which is fine. So if I click new and create a new Word document, it's going to be stored exactly in our shared point. And I'm going to say plan for tomorrow's session. And I'm going to name it. So if you just click up here, I'm just going to say plan for tomorrow's session. Now, it didn't like the apostrophe that I used. Plan for tomorrow's session. So it didn't like the apostrophe that I used. Whatever. That's fine. So automatically saves all of these because it's all web-based. And if we go back to the SharePoint under documents, we can see that document is there. She can certainly upload any files or folders or templates, and she can, whatever it is that you want to do, that she wants to do. So this is kind of self-explanatory. Other people can see it. You can delegate who can see it, do what to it. She can certainly do that. Details, more, this and that. But then we're going to just keep moving. And then it says shared with us. This is something that could be shared from different groups or different people. And these are the old things that will show up here when it comes to files and folders. Notebook. This is going to open up OneNote. This is another shared thing that you can do. And I'm going to say, let's say we're working on something together with team. And we're going to say plan for tomorrow's session. And this is our note, sort of like a sticky note, but it's online, right? It's like a sticky note, but it's online. Everybody can see it and edit it as long as you give them permissions. By default, whoever is a member should be able to make any changes. So we're going to say, for one, we're going to say meeting, right? And that's fine. Now, when we close it, when we go back to our SharePoint, and anybody else who goes in, let me see if am I part of that thing? I'm going to say here, SharePoint, finance. So this is me logged in. And if I go back in, this is under my name, under my login. I can see that she created this note in here that I can edit as well. You know, it's pretty cool, pretty self-explanatory. We're going to keep moving it towards the next thing, and that is pages here. Here's our home page. This is what it looks like. If we click on this, we can see this is our home page. We can add more pages if we want, and sure, what the heck, let's do this. We're going to create a site page, and we're going to call it sessions. We're going to call it work sessions, so that way Sally as manager, right? Remember, we created her and added her as a manager. She can keep this organized so that her people can see whenever she's gonna have these planned sessions. And then we're going to click new, and then this is kind of like WordPress, very, very similar to WordPress. And then you can add different things, just create a web page. It's really cool. It goes from just plain documents to buttons to videos, images, and dividers. And then we're going to do this. We're going to say meeting, you know, just to have something. And we're going to click publish, you know, whenever a person's ready, and then they can click publish. You can get a link of it and share it with your friends, but you know, if we go back to pages, it should show up, and here it is, work sessions. If we go to home page, it should come up here as well somewhere. There it is. So here is our sessions from Sally that she created a web page. It's called, you know, work dash sessions, and anybody can go in and, you know, leave a comment. And matter of fact, let me do that just to show you how it works. SharePoint, go finance group here. Here is Sally's page. Come on, take me to her page. Take me to her page. I'm gonna say great job, Sally. I'm going to go post. You see Irvin says great job, Sally. I'm gonna like my own thing because why not? I always like my own videos, guys. By the way, if you got a second, please like my video. I appreciate it. And then, you know, if Sally goes back to it, she can see that, you know, somebody commented. You know, where is it? Right here. So you can see that Irvin said, good job. Okay. So next thing is site content. This is basically everything that's installed on the website. So this is kind of like, I don't want to say it's back end because you can see it here on the front end. It's just part of the thing, but you can see all the documents that are in there. Remember the thing we created and put in there. And this is all going to have all those documents that, you know, they're just part of our website or our SharePoint group. It's not super easy to necessarily navigate, but that's fine. From point of view of IT support, these are things that we need to know, including here. Here is recycle bin, right? So if there's anything deleted from the finance group, we can see it in the recycle bin. So matter of fact, let's try this. We're going to click on site contents here. We're going to try to delete something, right? We're just going to delete this thing that we've created, and we're going to delete it like this, delete. And if they need help recovering this, we can just say go to recycle bin and then go and restore it. Just like that. And that's SharePoint for you guys. I think I covered most of the things that we need to worry about when it comes to SharePoint. So as an admin, if you go to SharePoint and see what's going on, the first thing that comes up here is sites, right? It says here sites. If we expand and click active sites, we can see that our financial group is there. And if you just want the quick link to it, you can just simply just click here and it will take you to that website without having you to go through all of that and trying to figure out, well, what is it? Well, it's right there. And you can see that it's just kind of set up in such a way that URL is whatever, and then it says sites finance theme, whatever before that is, you know, the the main name that we're using for this, which was Cosmic Novo at SharePoint.com, right? So when it comes to administrative part of it, at this point, you can see just activity. You can see the different permissions here that you can change them for the site owner and site members. So if you expand them, you can add more. You can add additional admins in here. It's all right here. You can change the policies. You can block external sharing, whether you want other people to see this. So you can go in and say, new people and existing guests, can go in and see what's going on in this website. You don't necessarily want anyone to have access to this, for security purposes, or you can really restrict it so it's only people in your organization, no external sharing allowed, which this is what we're going to do here and say save. All right, guys. I hope this video was useful and really easy to follow. I can create more, but you guys gotta let me know and give me an idea of what to talk about next. I could talk about Teams that as a next thing. We can talk about more about Azure Active Directory for Microsoft Office 365. We can talk about security and compliance. We can talk about roles. We can talk about different resources, rooms and equipment, billing. Well, no, that's just for, that's not something we have to worry about as tech support. And what else? We can look at health, service health, message center. The Teams has lots of cool things. Originally, I was going to talk about this as well in the same video, but if we go to it, there's actually a lot of interesting administrating things that I really want to talk about. And for those reasons, I want to make a separate video because it's really cool. And I feel like if I don't talk about it separately, then it may not be as remembered as well. You know what I mean? Because you don't want too much information, and because you got to take it, slowly to learn something that's new, especially if you're brand new to this. And for those reasons, I really wanted to make it as my next video. But again, I'm open to suggestions, so I can definitely go to any of these and talk about them at some point. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. Yeah, that's it. All right, take care. Bye-bye.